I finally read the story of Joseph from the perspective of a man. Not just, hey, this is a little fictional story about a perfect guy that loved God, but about a guy, a real guy, who had his fiancée, the love of his life, come and tell him she's pregnant with someone else's kid. His heart must have been broken. His whole life was just shattered in that one moment. And I guess I always just assumed that he went, oh, it's okay. You're going to have the Messiah. But he didn't. He couldn't believe her. The Bible clearly says that he was going to divorce her. You don't divorce someone when they're going to have the Messiah. You divorce someone when you think that they're lying and cheating on you. Man, his heart was just crushed. And then an angel comes to him to say, hey, this really is God. And at that point, you had to be angry and frustrated at the Lord. All you had to do was send the angel a week earlier, and my life wouldn't have been shattered into pieces. But you didn't. And you know what? God never even tells him why. Not as far as we know. He doesn't give him any explanation. He just says, you need to go and take Mary as your wife. And I think it's a huge picture of his submission and of his character that Joseph gets up the next morning and says, yes, I will take her as my wife. And now he is becoming the adopted father of the Son of God. I can't even imagine the kind of pressure that I was under. James Dobson hadn't written any books on how you raise the Messiah. He just had to get out there and try the best he could, being a normal, humble man. Somebody that just built things with his hands, trying to raise the Son of God, whose hands had created the whole world. What a job. All Joseph's dreams were shattered, and all his fears were very real. He had given up everything to be obedient to God, and now still probably felt like he had nothing to offer. He'd given up his ideas of what he wanted his life to be like to follow what God wanted his life to be like. And yet now, here he was, a father which he had always dreamed of. But how do you do that? What can you give to the Son of God? And that was Joseph's story.